Good evening, everybody. It's November 10th, it's 2011. Just want to share some thoughts. I had a conversation with my mother earlier tonight. She's a school teacher. And tonight they had their parent-teacher conference. She teaches high school. And she was conversating with a mother. And one of the child of the mother is very active, very, hyper. He actually is diagnosed with ADHD and was diagnosed with that at a very young age, and he's now a junior in high school, so he's 16, about to turn 17 years old. But anyways, the mother was telling my mother how, they'd tried all different kinds of medicines on their son, and either some of them zombied him out, or some of them wired him to the core where he wouldn't sleep, and they just tried different ones throughout the years, and then she told my mom that her son wasn't taking any medicine anymore, and my mom believes a lot like how I do. Maybe not quite as crazy, but she's right there on it, and said she immediately viewed the child a little bit different. But the woman kept telling my mother how the child throughout the years would say how he hated taking the medicines, and how it just made him feel funny and made him not feel the way that he felt he needed to feel, which you're taking a pure child and feeding them stuff and making them not pure, really, messing with their minds, and it's really sad. Well, the mother said eventually, the doctors, they had him zombied out, at night he'd be so zombied out, and the day he'd be so wired. Well, and they couldn't really get him to figure out the right kind of medicine, so finally now they were up to like 3 different medicines where they were wanting to, wire him when he woke up in the morning, feed him an amphetamine type of medicine, I'm sure, and at nighttime, put him down, give him something, a downer. And it really struck me because when my mother was telling me this, I was like, wow, they're really like Elvis Presley and the kids. Get them up and then put them down. Get them up and then put them down. And it's, how many children are they doing this to? How many children are being fed that chemical in the morning and then, being wired all day long, just out the cord, and then at night being fed another chemical so they can sleep, because sleep is the number one essential thing we must do. It just really blew my mind. It's messed with me. I mean, I know this is a fact. I mean, ADHD and all these diseases are just, numbers are off the charts right now. In America, we've got, it seems like, the most of them. But it's hitting our children really, really hard. And 2 nights ago at work, I've waited on this table for years, but it's a mother, and she's got 2 kids, a daughter and a son. And her son, you could tell, has some type of disability. I could tell it for years, but he's been changing a lot in the last couple years. But she was asking, if I would bring her daughter a strawberry, sundae dessert, but her son couldn't have one unless we had, almond products or soy milk ice cream products. And I was like, all right. I was like, well, I mean, we don't have that, I'm sorry. I was like, but I can understand why you would be asking that. Well, just by me saying I can understand why, we got into like a 20-minute conversation. Her son, which I've known's had something wrong, I either thought Asperger's or autism, has autism. And she just started preaching to me how, her son was given autism by his vaccinations, he was 15 months old, and from then on he's never been the same kid, how they went through treatments after treatments, thousands of dollars, and it wasn't until they took their son off dairy milk and wheat that they even got him to talk. He would mumble sometimes, and he would talk sporadically every once in a while, they said, but he would never, they could ask him, he would just ask him stuff, and he would never talk. Well, she just kept going on and on about all the vaccinations. And I mean, I've studied this, and I got strong beliefs that they're not all needed too. And that's, they are causing problems in our children. I personally have a 5-year-old cousin who has ADHD and is very, very obese. He's 5 years old, and he's already 125 pounds. I mean, something's wrong. And he's the sweetest child there is in the world. But he's already been poisoned so bad. It's like, well, what's happening? And this is where the it of it is coming out, of why someone must stand for the children. And because, somebody that's 60 years old, they got a choice whether they want to swallow that pill or not, or take that shot or not. A little baby and a little child, they don't have a choice. They need to be getting and receiving the love that, we're supposed to give a child. And the Bible's clear on that, what we're supposed to do. But I just wanted to touch on this because it really made me think of, that we feed children speed during the days and give them, I'm guessing, opiates or something to bring them down, at the night. And just talking on ADHD, it's the conversation with my mother, it was deeper than that. I can't remember it all, but it's sad, it's sad, especially, there's gotta be something else out there that God did create that could, help a person with ADHD be able to concentrate a little bit better, slow their mind down a little bit so they could take in, what the teacher's teaching them, or however, just, something that so they could calm down and focus. There's gotta be something else out there. There has to be, I believe that. And that's what's just so sad about it, because, you see a child like that, his mother's now took him off all the medicine, which, not to say he don't need something. He obviously does need something. My mother said he is very rambunctious, so he needs something to calm him down. But once again, it's not allowed. It's not allowed to give that kid really what he needs to calm him down. And it's just a shame. It's a shame that what's happening to our children, most of all. And, who's going to stand for it? I personally ain't. I'm not going to stand for it. I better use proper English. I am from Tennessee. We don't use proper English here. We just communicate. And that's all I'm trying to do, is communicate a message. People's telling me these things, I want to relay them back and get people's opinions. I'm not saying I'm right on anything. I'm not saying I'm wrong on anything. I'm just wanting to deliver what's on my heart. And if I can help someone else, that's awesome. Maybe that you can take something I've given and help someone else, and we can just keep doing it and keep expanding this chain in the army of love. And we're not letting go. We're going to win this. And if we're not going to change for ourselves, then let's do it for our children. I'm not a father or anything, but a lot of people have kids. let's change for them, because obviously our American diet and our way of health is not working here. So instead of keeping on doing the same thing that ain't working over and over and over again, let's change. Let's change and let's get back to the roots and be that light to inspire people. That's all we gotta do, and we can do this. We'll do it together. Peace and love. It's November 10th, 2011. Tomorrow's a big day. We're just heating up. Thank you.